Good afternoon all. I am going to present on evaluation of the interference of urea on creatinine measurement by both Jaffe method and enzymatic method in full serum. The introduction. Serum creatinine is one of the sensitive indicators for the renal function. The accurate measurement of the serum creatinine is very important for the diagnosis of the renal diseases, risk assessment, drug dose adjustment, and staging of the chronic kidney diseases. Jaffe and enzymatic methods are most commonly used in the clinical laboratories to measure the serum creatinine measurement, but both methods are susceptible to many interfering substances. The justification: in patients with renal disorders, both serum urea and creatinine levels increased. In this condition, high elevation of the urea may cause interference in the creatinine measurement. There were no studies published regarding the urea interference on creatinine measurement. Therefore, this study will help to find out whether urea causes interference on the creatinine measurement or not, in both Jaffe method and enzymatic method. Objectives. The general objective is to evaluate the interference of urea on creatinine measurement by both Jaffe method and enzymatic method in pooled serum. Specific objectives. The first one, to determine the baseline creatinine and urea concentration of serum pool. Second, to determine the creatinine in 3 different serum pools prepared with low, medium and high concentration of creatinine by both Jaffe and enzymatic method. Third one, to determine the creatinine in 3 different serum pools after adding 5 different concentration of urea by both Jaffe method and enzymatic method. The final one, to compare the interference of urea on creatinine measurement by both Jaffe kinetic method and enzymatic method. Methodology. This is a laboratory-based experimental study. Ethical clearance was obtained from Ethics Review Committee of Faculty of Medicine, University of Vietnam. Blood samples were collected from the healthy volunteer students of Faculty of Medicine, University of Vietnam. The study was carried out with pooled serum. 28 individuals included in this study and 5 ml of the blood was collected from each. Biochemical parameters. Creatinine and urea stock solutions were prepared according to the instructions obtained from Clinical Chemistry Manual of Department of Biochemistry, Medical Research Institute, Sri Lanka. Serum urea was measured by urease vertiolate method. Serum creatinine was measured by Jaffe's alkaline picric acid method and enzymatic method. The standard curve for the urea was obtained and the standard curve for the creatinine was obtained by Jaffe method and enzymatic method. Results and discussion. Baseline creatinine concentration of pooled serum was measured as 1.1859 mg per deciliter and 1.256 mg per deciliter by Jaffe method and enzymatic method respectively. And the baseline urea concentration was measured as 24.997 mg per deciliter. After that, pooled serum was adjusted to 3 different creatinine concentrations, like 0.6, 2 and 6 mg per deciliter, and 5 different urea concentrations. The first one baseline and then 50, 75, 100 and 120 and 115 mg per deciliter. Altogether 3 into 6, 18 different samples were prepared, and in that sample serum creatinine was measured by both Jaffe method and enzymatic method in duplicates. The average value is calculated and the mean values are shown in this table. After that, to evaluate the interference of the urea on the creatinine measurement, Dannett t-test was performed. In the Dannett t-test, the creatinine measurements of the urea treated samples are compared with the creatinine measurements of the urea untreated baseline samples. Here in the Jaffe method, the statistically significant interference shown in the low, medium and high creatinine samples above the 150 mg per deciliter urea. In the enzymatic method, the statistically significant interference shown only in the low creatinine concentrated samples with 150 mg per deciliter urea. In the mean comparison study, independent t-test was performed. Here the measurements of the Jaffe method and enzymatic methods are compared. Only in the low creatinine samples untreated with the urea shows statistically insignificant difference between the reading of the Jaffe method and enzymatic method. Other 17 samples are shown statistically significant mean difference between the reading of the Jaffe method and enzymatic method. And the analysis of percentage error, the interference percentage is calculated from this equation. The final results mean the reading after adding urea, the original results mean the reading before adding urea. Then the relative error percentage is calculated by subtracting the interference percentage from the 100. Then the calculated percentages are shown in this table and they are plotted in this graph. Here, with the increase of the urea concentration, the relative error is increasing, and this is not only depend on the urea concentration but also depends on the creatinine concentration. Low creatinine samples are susceptible to more interference than the high creatinine samples. And in any type of the creatinine concentration or urea concentration, the enzymatic method shows less error than the Jaffe method. And normally in the Jaffe method, about 10% error is seen in the samples treated with low, medium and high concentration creatinine, and with the 125 mg per deciliter and 150 mg per deciliter urea. But in the enzymatic method, only below 10% error is seen in all the type of samples. Correlation and regression analysis. There is a negative correlation was observed between the urea and creatinine concentration, and the regression analysis, it shows linear regression between the urea and the creatinine concentration, and the R-star values obtained above 0.8. The conclusion: statistically significant negative interference was seen in the Jaffe method in the low, medium and high creatinine concentrated samples above 155 mg per deciliter urea. And in the enzymatic method, only the statistically significant interference shown in the low creatinine concentrated samples with 150 mg per deciliter urea. In all the samples, enzymatic method shows less error, less interference. So it is more preferred to use enzymatic method to avoid the interference of urea than the Jaffe method. Limitations: I just do this study with the manual method due to the lack of facilities. On the enzymatic kit is more expensive, so I did only the duplicate. If we did triplication, even more accurate results can be obtained. And regarding urea interference, there is no any other articles published. So it gave some difficulties to comparing my results with other studies. And recommendation: study can be carried out in more different concentration of pooled serum samples, and study can be carried with automated analyzers to obtain more accurate results. These are my reference. I express my sincere gratitude to the chairperson and other members of the KDU IRC team for giving me the opportunity, and thank you all.
Thank you, Dr. Deloshana, for that interesting, important study because urea and creatinine both go up in advanced kidney failure, and the interference of one evaluation by the other, then certainly we have to know the truth. So, any questions anybody want to ask?
So the enzymatic method means the commercially available kit, right? So I think you can include the name of the kit if somebody wants to take it as a reference. You said your enzymatic method is better than the Jaffe's method. Any ideas why?
Both are, after adding the urea, both methods are giving some reduced readings, not the actual initial reading not obtained after adding urea in both methods, but the enzymatic method shows little bit difference. It is not very statically significant difference, but the Jaffe method shows statically significant difference with the original measurement. That's why I said.
How many milliliters of roughly how many milliliters of serum you require for your test?
To prepare one concentration of sample, I needed 2 ml of the serum.
So you said you took 5 milliliters of that, right?
Yeah.
Was it for this study as well as for several other things, or was it only for this?
No, I did the bilirubin interference also, but now in this presentation I am only doing the urea interference.
Okay, thanks.
Any other questions? All right, thank you very much, Dr. Deloshana.
Thank you.
Sorry?